Oh, shelf of mystery, what do you have in store for us today? Let's take a look. Oh, so many wonderful things. But what is this I see? Oh, could this be the original Viking's blood? So yeah, I just put stuff on the shelf. I don't really pay attention to what it is. I'm like, okay, do we have brew stuff? Do we have gardening stuff? Do we have our D&D stuff? Are we representing the Berica, as it were?
And then yesterday, I'm looking at him, is that the original Viking blood?
Wow.
Yeah, from 4 years ago. This was bottled July 13th, 2018. Today is June 30th. Of 2022.
That's
so
like
we are
before times.
Literally, yeah, we are literally just about 4 years. So this was, for those of you that don't know, the very first brewing video we ever put on the channel. It was the first mead we ever put on the channel. And if you watch that and you watch us now, you may not recognize the person that did that video. The hair is longer now. Some of it is. The beard is much shorter.
Okay.
But, yeah.
First off, look at that color. It is so gorgeous.
Ruby red.
It is one of the things that made me fall in love with this concept is the color. It's just, it's absolutely beautiful.
It looks like a really high quality red wine.
Yes.
And you can even just in the swirl, it just feels thick, viscous. Aroma is heady.
Oh, it's so much.
It's rich.
Richer than I remember the first Viking Blood
Mead. Yeah, the
being.
first one, I'll be honest, the first one wasn't the best one we've made. We've done 3 of them. This was the weakest of the 3.
Well, it's been 4 years. We've had a little bit of practice since then, so, but.
On the surface, Viking's Blood literally just means cherry melomel or cherry mead, or honey and cherries in a mead. There's a lot of ways to do it.
I could just smell this forever.
This was made with tart cherries, though. This was not from juice or concentrates. This was just cherries and honey.
I almost feel like I'm getting a chocolate note on the aroma.
Not really.
Definitely dark fruit, not just
Dark
cherry,
fruit, yeah.
like plum or something along those lines.
This is like a momentous occasion.
It is. I can feel my heart going a little faster because
All right,
I'm just
I'm tasting it.
This is exciting.
It's not bad.
It is definitely tart cherry.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not a sweet brew. This came out dry, as I recall. It's much better than I remember it being. Now, I think also my tastes have adjusted to more dry things. There's definitely, you know what? Let me take you on a little trip. As it enters the palate, there's a definite combination of a cherry honey flavor. It's not distinctive honey and it's not distinct cherry. It's like a dark fruit covered in honey. Best way to describe that. It's not overly sweet. It has that slight tart thing going on from the cherry. And then it goes into a little bit more sweet. I get like in the mid-range, it's a little bit sweeter dark fruit. And then towards the end, I almost get a citrusy, kind of a very tart, acidic bite.
Like lemon.
Yeah, lemony. And then it goes down, beautiful finish. It's a little thinner than I would like, but it's not like thin, it's not watery. But it's like, if I had to put a number on the thinness, 10 being like it's motor oil thick, this is like a 6 to a 7-ish. It's not super thick and rich like I would like it to be, but it's not bad.
Yeah. So we were claiming this to be a 10% ABV. That's...
Yeah, it didn't come out all that high. That was in the before times when I was careful about my yeast selections, like we are now, actually. We've kind of gone full circle. I used to do it that way, where I didn't worry so much about the tolerance of the yeast. I made sure the tolerance was above it, let it go dry, and we back sweetened and things like that afterwards. And then for a while there, we were going into trying to overshoot the yeast tolerance. We realized really quickly, yeast can't read. Therefore, that was inconsistent, and it wasn't efficient for us as people who show others how to do this. If we want to get you doing this at home, if you're an experienced brewer, sure, you could totally work with that and it's fine. But if you've never made mead before and you try to do that and it doesn't work exactly the way we say, even though you did everything right, well, that could leave a bad taste and you wouldn't ever want to make mead again. So we switched back to simple, foolproof methods of doing things. And you'll notice in the last, what, 6 months to a year maybe, most of our brews are pretty much, they're going dry, then we decide if we want to back sweeten or augment. And that's a really tried and true method of making mead. This was one of those, even though it was before then. So, yeah.
I am super excited that we found this on the shelf of mystery. I am super excited that it's tasting better than my memory.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's not one of my top 10.
But I still think we certainly did the Viking Blood concept a favor by continuing to push it and go further with it. And the 2021 or 2020 or whatever year we did the last one, that is, in my opinion, definitely the pinnacle. The pinnacle.
Yeah, people have said, when are we going to make a new one? And I'm like, when I come up with a better way. I haven't come up with a better way yet. That's a good one. It's like somebody asked me to redo the spiced metheglin. I was like, why? It's an 11. Where do you go from there? I mean, the scale only goes so high. This is nice, okay? This is quite good. But like I say, it's not in my top 10. And I like cherries.
I can still see this being utilized in a multitude of ways. Like, I think this would be a really good marinade, probably because it has that tart, acidic
you could totally
punch.
marinate with this. Cooking with this would be really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's not overly fruity. It actually comes across kind of like a Cabernet. It's a very, think a dry red wine with a cherry afternote, overtone. Overtone is what I was thinking of. It's not overly cherry. Some people were using sweet cherries to make this, and they were making essentially what tasted like cough syrup. I can totally understand why. This needs that tart cherry. Now, had we back sweetened this, I think this would be improved.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it now, obviously, because this bottle won't last that long. Oh, well, I have no problem drinking this.
So are we going to give this a number, or are we just going to let it be its beautiful, reminiscent memory lane thing?
I think this one doesn't deserve to be numbered or judged that way.
It's beyond reproach.
Well, I mean, I'm going to give it the infinity score.
There you go.
Let's call it that.
Infinity and beyond.
This is just the iconic brew that made our channel what it is known as. I mean, this was what started it all, if you will. This is literally one of the bottles from that video, okay? And the story of the Viking Blood video, this is the funny thing. We started up City Steading where it was cooking, growing, brewing, right? Brewing was actually added kind of afterwards. We started out cooking and growing. We started up with the gardening and cooking. And then one day I was like, hey, you know what, why don't I just show some of the meads that I make? So I put this up there. And it's interesting because soon after we made this video, I think we did the racking video that was kind of half-assed.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really put a whole lot of effort. Because at that point, we were kind of giving up on doing YouTube. We were like, this isn't really working out. It's just not, we're putting all these videos out and we're just not really getting anywhere. I think we had like maybe 200 subscribers at the time.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah, it was really, really low. We had like 200, maybe 300 subscribers. And then we went to the Thai temple for breakfast one time with some friends. Yeah. It's a place over in Tampa, really awesome food. And we were there and my phone is like dinging and dinging and dinging. And I'm like, what the heck? New subscriber, new subscriber, new subscriber. I'm like, what the heck? So I put it away. I stopped looking. And then a couple hours later, it's still blowing up. And I was like, what the heck? We found out that the video had gotten suggested on the Modern Rogues How to Make Mead video. And we went from 300 subscribers to, I think, like 1,500 subscribers in like one day. Which for a brand new channel that's 4 months or 5 months old and really small, that's huge. So we immediately started putting out more videos and that got us started. It was like, without this exact bottle, this channel might not exist. We might have just given up completely because I don't think we'd put out a video for like a month at the time that this started actually doing something. It's really an amazing story, and I don't always tell that story because, it was luck. Some of YouTube is being in the right place at the right time, and that's what this was. And then we continued that and just kept putting out more and more and more, and people liked what we were doing for some reason.
So Viking Blood will always, obviously, hold a very special place in our hearts.
In which case, it's a 100. The highest score we can ever possibly give. Simply because it's an iconic brew to our channel, like I keep saying. If you've never made this, you should do it once, just to do it. You can make any of the versions of it, I will tell you that right now. If you really want to make one that's going to be a little bit sweeter, more complex, you definitely want to make the 2020 version of this, which we'll have links to all 3 versions in the description for this. This did age well. 4 years it took to get to here, although we haven't tasted it in probably 3 years to know.
Yeah.
So.
If you're interested in the complete saga of Viking Blood, you can go to our playlist and simply type in Viking Blood, and it'll give you the complete story from
like
this
12
version
or 15 videos
to the final version, and all the tastings and the age tastings. And once we release this one will be included.
Something that comes up a lot too is people always ask, once there's that much airspace in that bottle, doesn't it oxidize? If we were to put this back on the shelf and let it sit for a while, yes, absolutely it would. Now, people say go bad. It doesn't go bad, it doesn't spoil. What happens is it starts to oxidize and flavors go off and it changes, right? This is 10%. It could turn to vinegar, not likely to, but it could. By the way, this sat on a shelf, room temperature, no special seal, just this, for 4 years. It was absolutely perfect when I opened it up.
Yep.
Didn't even get a little bit of a pop, nothing. So anybody that's worried about shelf life of meads and using screw caps and flip tops, don't worry about it if you do everything right. We sanitized everything. Everything was clean going in. That's why there's no infections, there's no weirdness, there's no off flavors.
And we keep it in the dark.
Yeah, we keep them in the dark. Don't put them in the sun, that would be bad. But what are we gonna do with this now? This will go in a fridge, and it'll probably get consumed within the next couple of weeks because it's not a good idea to push it, okay? I know we have with a couple of them, and well, over the years we've had a few that kind of went a little off because of it. They didn't go bad, they just didn't taste so good anymore.
Yeah.
That's really what happened.
This particular bottle, actually, I predict will be consumed by tonight because Brian is going to be making a spicy peanut sauce noodle dish, and I think this will actually pair with that quite nicely.
If she says so. She's more than welcome to have it if she wants to. But, anyway, I'd also like to extend a huge thank you to those of you that started watching us because of this brew and are still watching us today. A lot's changed. So many things have changed. We've grown as YouTubers, we've grown as brewers, opened up to new ideas, and most of what we learned from you guys and just by doing. So we get to crowdsource everything. We have like 140,000 people to crowdsource from, which is really awesome. And that feedback gives us a lot more to work with and a lot more to be able to say, okay, I know based off of most of our viewers, they had this experience with this product or with this thing, and that helps so much in helping us to formulate new recipes, come up with ways to fix old recipes and things like that. And that way we can keep making brews that we like, that you like to watch us make.
When I answer the comments that you give us on our channel and I say, I'm putting this on the list or it is on the list,
she's not kidding.
Literally is on the list.
She has a list. It's on paper too, because she doesn't do digital stuff.
I'm old school.
Yeah. Can we find that paper again is sometimes the question.
I am now transferring it to digital for his benefit, but it's on the list. I can
pull out my phone and look at it because that's what I do. Anyway, as always guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.